Batman Begins came out in 2005, directed by Christopher Nolan. And this was a Batman I grew up when it comes to movies. Because I remember when I was a kid, this film used to be a big deal. Like, I actually owned the action figures of the movie. I still have that Rachel Hood in my collection. The Batmobile still lying around. I gave it away to my cousin. And, like, just, I love this film. Like, I don't think, like, obviously, I'm a big comic fan. I would have discovered Batman either way. But I don't think Batman would have been so special to me if I hadn't seen this film right here. And the problem with this film is that it's overshadowed by its sequels, which a lot of people say is better, but I gotta be honest, and this is gonna give me a lot of hate. I actually like Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight Rises. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like Dark Knight Rises more, but it's just that last time I saw these three films, which was last year, I was hooked all the time watching Batman Begins. While I was watching Dark Knight Rises, I was bored sometimes, and I just called Dark Knight Rises boring. I'm dead. I just insulted the uninsultable. But no, seriously, I'm gonna get more details into that. But just saying, Batman Begins, I liked it more than Dark Knight Rises. And this is definitely the beginning of definitely not just one of the best superhero franchises, but one of the best franchise ever. Christian Bale's Batman, just awesome. Definitely my favorite live action Batman. For one time, I prefer Ben Affleck, but Christian Bale's Christian Bale. He did an amazing job. I love the Batsuit in here. I love how he nails the mysteriousness of the character. The origin story was just great. Him from going to prison to basically his ninja training. I love seeing that. And his Bruce Wayne, just amazing too. It's definitely best live action Bruce Wayne. Of course, you also got Michael Caine as Alfred. And as much as I mentioned that I love Michael Gough's portrayal from the original films, I just love Michael Caine's Alfred so much more. He definitely gave it his all. Of course, his character will become better as the later films come out, but in here, it's just a great start to his great character, played by his amazing actor. And Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. Just gotta say thank you, Batman Begins, for introducing me to this great character. Like, this was a character that was never adapted in media. From what I understand, he appeared once in Batman the Animated Series, and that's pretty much just it. Other than that, he was just a comics character. And both Morgan Freeman and this film gave us a great introduction to this amazing character. Then this film also introduces us our love interest, Rachel Dawes, played by Katie Holmes in here. And look, I just gotta say I liked her portrayal more than Maggie Gyllenhaal in Dark Knight. I don't know, it's just that I liked her actress in here and the way he plays the character compared to, like I mentioned, Maggie Gyllenhaal in the Dark Knight. And also you have Gary Oldman playing James Gordon. Wasn't commissioner yet. He was just James Gordon here. And obviously, like I mentioned with Alfred, this character gets better as the sequels. Like, come on. But again, great introduction to his character. Like, who can forget that scene where Bruce Wayne's parents just got murdered and Gordon's just comforting him? Just a well-made scene right there. And speaking of which, the Waynes, Bruce's parents, like, I love how they give importance to them here, because when it comes to movies and all that, you don't really get that much importance to the characters. They're just like murder and just what introduces Batman. But in here, they just spend a lot of time with them, developing these characters, and so when their deaths eventually happen, just becomes a more tragic moment than most of the other Batman films have done this iconic moment. Then we also gotta talk about the villains. Carmine Falcone. Like, starting with the minor ones. Carmine Falcone, I like the actor who played him. Again, this is not a character that gets much attention because he's overshadowed by, of course, many better Batman villains like the Joker, the Penguin. Because, like, they all have an unique thing to them. Carmine's just a gangster. So I'm happy that they did spend some time developing this character, this movie. And then Victor says like that one cameo scene. Because look, when I saw this film when I was a kid, I didn't know why they were paying that many attention to his character when he like the cameo appearances he has. I'm like, what's so special about this guy? And then, of course, many years later, I played the Arkham games, and then like there was this one scene where they zoom to a neck and he has the scars. I'm like, yo, that's Victor Sass. Like that's a neat little Easter egg right there. And then you also got Scarecrow played by Cillian Murphy. And look, it's not the Scarecrow that we all know and love. It's just a dude with a freaking scary quote unquote mask on his face. It's not the traditional Scarecrow we all know. But this is a look that has stuck to me for years, because like this is the Batman in reality. So I highly doubt that in real life a dude would come to Scarecrow and just wear a full-on Scarecrow costume. So, in a way, I did see that this is pretty much a real take on Scarecrow. So, and I like that. It's a sign that stuck with me for years. Definitely become one of my favorite Scarecrows. And Ra's al Ghul, man, played by Ken Watanabe. Just amazing. Okay, you know what? This film came out years ago. I'm gonna spoil the twist. This wasn't Ra's al Ghul. He was actually played by Liam Neeson. Like, seriously, what a twist right there. Like, that was a well-made twist, because when you see a merchandise for this film, you always see Ken Watanabe's decoy Ra's al Ghul. He was the Ra's al Ghul that was in the merchandise, the media, all the promos. And so you get to reveal that it's actually Ducard, Bruce's mentor, and that twist right there was just great. Even though it wasn't really that hard to hide, he literally looks like comic book Ra's al Ghul, but still, great twist right there. And of course, he becomes our main villain for what's the rest of the film. And that final fight was well done. And who can forget Ra's al Ghul's dead, man? That scene, just wow. And finally, everything wraps up. You get the iconic scene at the end. Batman and Gordon together. The bat signal lit up. And an introduction to a Joker is going to be in the sequel. And then the film ends as Batman just flies away. Ending this great movie. If I have any other thing to say about this film, it's probably the soundtrack. It's a major plus. Like, I mentioned that I prefer Danny Elfman's soundtracks on the original Batman films, but soundtrack in here was also well made. Definitely fits Batman. So that's a major plus too. And so I'm gonna give Batman Begins 5 Batman logos. Bat symbols. I don't know what I should call that. Bat symbols? Yeah, bat symbols. 5 bat symbols. Of course, this film was a success, and it would lead to a far better sequel.